What is going on, everybody? Luke here. So today's video is going to be completely different to my usual. Just like I do stocks and shares videos, I'm going to be doing one about NFTs. I've been getting into this about 1 month now, and I thought I'd do like an update. Well, I haven't actually done a video for it, but some sort of video to just show you what's going on with my journey, and actually just roughly sort of explain to you a bit about NFTs, because, you know, a lot of people think it's just a picture. And in theory, yes, it is a picture that you're buying, but it's not actually the picture. It's like what you get with that picture. You know, just like you buy, I don't know, you buy some sort of like, you know, imagine getting a gym, simply getting a gym membership. The card doesn't do anything itself. You can't go anywhere else with the card, but you can go to the gym. And actually, it's what you get with that card, what it allows you to do. Just like if you go to like Royal Ascot horse racing, you get different, like you get a ticket which is sort of more superior, and it gets you access to things. That's pretty much what an NFT is. It's a virtual, you know, and it can be physical. It could be a ticket to go into a real world event, but it's basically just what it actually does, not necessarily what it looks like. Yeah. So some of these will look terrible, but it's not actually about what it looks like. It's what it does for you. The easiest thing that I can do is, everyone must know who Gary Vee is. If not, he's a massive, huge entrepreneur in America, but he has something called VeeFriends. So we're just going to go on to VeeFriends, and OpenSea, what I'm on, is like a platform for buying and selling. And you can see here, VeeFriends, Gary Vee, Vaynerchuk, NFT Project, Meaningful, blah, blah, blah. You can see lots of cartoony children's pictures that you would see slapped on like a fridge. But it's not actually what the picture is. It's what it does. And every project would be different. Some might be like access to games. Some might be access to like future content. You know, entrepreneurs could have different events and stuff. But on Gary Vee, obviously, he's very much a business person, and, you know, everyone, he's super successful. He owns crazy businesses in America, and you can see some of these are going for 15 Ethereum, and 15 Ethereum is £41,000. Just as a quick, you know, realization of what the cost is, and everything will be transacted in Ethereum because that is the highway that people use. And you might ask, what does that mean? The highway is like, if I'm driving on a motorway and there's a toll booth in the UK, I'll pay with pounds. If I'm in Europe, I'll pay with euros. So the currency to transact is Ethereum. The reason that is, it's built on the Ethereum blockchain, which is obviously like, you know, like a highway. And people can build like little little roads and little like petrol stations off of that. It's going to be, you know, and just imagine it's like a closed ecosystem. And if you want to play or build or transact within that ecosystem, you've got to use that currency. And that's pretty much why it's like that. Of course, you can go and like change it back to pounds and all that kind of thing pretty quickly. It's not a problem, but everything's transacted like that. So you might say, okay, well, how does that even worth that? How is that worth that? Blah, blah, blah. Well, it's not really what the picture is necessarily, it's what it does. So if you want to go ahead and just jump onto VeeFriends, just as a bit of fun, you can go and see here, current floor prices. Floor basically means that the current lowest price for different colors, pretty much, is what it says. So here, 114,000, 43,000, blah, blah, blah. And each one, you can see it goes rare, diamond, you know, goo or go, lava, epic. Each one has different rarities. So there's going to be more of these, and then slowly there'll be less and less. So that means, for example, as you then go up, you get more benefits. Just like, you know, American Express, you have a gold card. Gold, ooh, here. It gets you certain benefits, but then you go up to, I don't know, diamond or whatever they have. Platinum, do they? Not platinum here, but you get what I mean. You get more benefits. You might have more airport passes and stuff like that. You know, airport lounge passes and stuff like that. It's very similar. It just means that, you know, you can. What it ultimately means at the end is that you could then sell that on. Obviously, when you've got that, so the perks and what it gets, if they get better over time, let's say Amex add things on. New members can't get it, but only old, then that account, just like with an Amazon account, having instant disbursements, where some people don't have instant disbursements, if you could transact that account easily, which you can't really do it easily, then there's more value in that than one that has a 2-week disbursement, you see? So it's kind of like that. So people that get in early for cheaper, because there's less going on with that, the more they're actually getting later, if you kind of get what I mean. If they trust, obviously, that the project's going to go well. If it was a random person that is unemployed, works at McDonald's, did it, well, they'd be like, well, why would I believe you that you're going to ever, you know, but people like Gary Vee, already established in the world of business, entrepreneur, been doing it for decades. Obviously, there's verification that that will come true, because if he suddenly just tanked it and stopped doing it, then obviously there'd be a big backlash. Then it'll be media, and then it'll be bad for business, and so on. Just like in real world, if they say they're going to do something and they don't, they go back on their word. Stocks will obviously get impacted. The same with him. All linked in. So you might think, okay, what do these do anyway? So what you can do is you can go explore friends, and you can just look here at all the different things. Yeah. So what we can do is we can kind of go to Epic, just so you can see, and we're going to go ahead and just click on one. So what you can see, it says this token is verifiable for admission to VCon. Gary V has created like a real world place, just like you can go to events, where it will be people that only have this or some of the other tokens, because some of the other tokens will give this as well to this event. And so that is the value. So let's say this is worth, I don't know, $500 a ticket, and you get 3 that's worth 1,500. Obviously it's selling for far more than that, but you kind of get my drift. So obviously it may, just like any market, if it's too expensive, people won't buy it, and then the price might come down, and so on and so on. And let's look at some of the other stuff. So let's go to like gold. Go on to gold. Again, you can see it does exactly the same. So some of these are going to give you different privileges, basically. So you go onto here, the same. Now I did find some that were, I think I just did Epic, didn't I? Very rare. Give me a moment. I just want to find some really good ones here for you. Lava. It's really annoying. Gift codes. Maybe we can just do like reptiles. I think I did this. Here we go. So on this, you can see the holder of the 9 bowling bow token. You can see it's a bowling ball, and that's what it's called. So it's really random pictures. We'll invite you to a 1-2 hour bowling session with Gary V per year. So like, how cool would that be? Not that it's necessary, no, but there's many things in the world that aren't necessary, like gold Rolex. Like gold plated mobile phone. There's so much that is not really, but there is, but it's everywhere. Like fancy yachts. Someone goes and builds another one 6 times the size. It's like, you've already got one the size of Manhattan. Why do you need one the size? But that's the world, isn't it? Not that the average person's going to go buying this, but there's plenty of people with money that want exclusivity and perks that is almost impossible to get in the real world. How would you ever get that in the real world? And of course, if you've got one of these, you'll be able to sell it on, because for example, you get admission to the VCons, you get the redemption for the bowling, you get extra perks. Yeah. And he's only adding to this over time. It's getting better and better and better. And he might bring out another one at some point which gives you different perks. Maybe it's like a come and meet me at my office, get flights, blah blah blah. He's basically adding things in the background which gives this its value. So it's not this as such, it's what the thing does. And some aren't all like that. Some are generally beautiful art. Some are admission to gaming. They all have their different projects, whatever their project is. But VeeFriends is the easiest way to kind of give you that understanding of what an NFT necessarily is not what it looks like, it is what it does behind. And so you can obviously go on before you ever buy stuff and actually see what the plan is. And of course there are things that are like $50. But again, it's relative. It's $50, but what's it doing? Why is it $50? Why is it not 300? Why is it not, I don't know how much this is, but crazy amounts. This is on sale for 100 ETH. This is on sale for that much. But if there's millions of millionaires, and I don't know how many millionaires there are. Let's actually find out. Many millionaires. There is 56 million people in the world who have over $1 million. And most of them in the US. So Gary Vee's obviously US, so it's like even more realistic that they're going to actually go, because obviously you'd have to potentially get there. And it's like, that is what it's doing. So again, enough of that. I'm just giving you an overview of roughly what that means. And again, a good concept that I like to see is that imagine if Disney started now in real world, and they started as an NFT project. So they had Buzz Lightyear. They start with Toy Story. Buzz Lightyear. They had like 100 characters or 5, however many characters there are. Maybe they have 3,000. there's 3,000, even if it's like 1 second, like the army men where it's like 400 of them, you know. And then obviously later on they bring out new collections, which is the new characters like Jesse and stuff. But if you've got Buzz Lightyear, for example, and they create, and at the moment there's no film, but then there's a film created, Toy Story, you're going to get exclusive rights to commercial rights for that. You've basically bought, instead of buying a Disney share, you have bought a part of the inner, so you've kind of gone like another layer in. You're buying the Buzz Lightyear. If Buzz Lightyear has like merchandise done again, you'll get commission, you'll get paid royalties because you own the commercial rights for that, and you're giving them the money to create these films through these NFTs. Very similar like you would give them money on like a share issue, but it just means that most of these companies like Disney, if they float on a stock exchange, they've already had angel investments. They had so much investment beforehand to get there, and so all of the people like you and me, we're getting in late, but there's no way, we haven't got enough money to get in the sort of beginning stages, the early stages. But with crypto you can, with NFTs you can, and yes, some will go to zero, but that's the fun of it. It's like being, you know, anyone can get great at something. You just don't just go buy randomly. And again, that's why you don't put all your eggs in one basket. Don't put all your money in it and go, yes, do that. I'm diversifying. I've got stocks and shares. I've got income coming in every month from like coaching and various things. I've got the Amazon, so I've got other things. But I'm just like, you know, for me, this is really interesting and really fun at the same time. And I want to follow the journey into the future. It could be something on top of VAT, something on top of NFTs, and then something, you know, in 10 years it could be completely different, but I want to be part of that journey as it transitions. And so I'm giving you that good understanding. So about me, what have I done? Well, I've just created this September report of all the things I've bought and sold. It's literally a list of all the things I've bought, and then when I've sold it, I put it in red. Green means I've still got it, and then this is just because I bought, for example, I bought this NFT. This is a good example. It's September box, but you get airdropped, which means you get given. It just goes into your account. 10 other NFTs from different artists. And for example, one's Pussy Riot. You must have heard that Russian sort of anti-Putin company band, and their artwork selling for a lot because it has like a meaning behind it and stuff like that. And with this, obviously, once it gets locked and it got airdropped 10 NFTs to me. So I then got these NFTs here, and I've already sold one here, and I basically just totaling it all up. Gas fees is like the cost, which is, you know, it's very expensive to do gas, but at the same time it's a proportion. It's just like Amazon fees. Of course, you factor that in to your transactions. You know, Amazon fees is probably higher than gas fees potentially, or you know, Amazon fees is crazy high. But it doesn't matter as long as you can make the transaction work. Yeah. So you can see here all of these things that I've had or still got. Although I'll put that green. Oh no, this one needs to be red because I've sold it. But in terms of profit, you know, the one that I mentioned on my post yesterday, it was this Galaxy egg, and I'll go on to it. And the great thing about the blockchain is that everything can be checked. I can check your account, his account, if I can find it, of course. It's all visible. There's no way to hide anything. So in terms of like pretending you own it, there's no way. It's all transacted. So you can see here, me, you, 24 days ago on the September the 21st, 8:22 AM, I bought this for 0.9 Ethereum, and on September 22nd, you can see it's just the day after, I sold it for 1.45. Yeah, that was the best one I've done so far. And you can see here, currently it's not on sale, but you can make offers and stuff like that. We're not worried about that, and this is basically what it is. And you might think, well, how is that worth what it's worth? Well, it's not about that. It's like who's the artist? You know, imagine it's maybe imagine Banksy started doing NFTs. It's like, is that worth only £10, £20? But all of all the stuff that's on the side of walls is worth millions. It's like how. So obviously and that's kind of how it works. Obviously, you'd have to then investigate the artists and various things to see, you know, is this a load of crap, or is it actually worth it? And then what they're doing is they're saying anyone that holds these will get a early access for like another series. So like, you know, like Toy Story has its number 1, they have their characters, and then another Toy Story 2 comes along, they have other characters, and you get access because you're in early. you get access to not only being able to sell it potentially for a profit if you want, because everything can be bought and sold, but you get access to like the future airdrops, they call it. Airdrops just means it gets sent to you. And so something will be sent to me, which is like a pass to say that this is a ticket to mint, which is what they call like, you know, like buying at the beginning, like when it's brand new, for example, before anyone's resold it or anything. A warrior, which would be like a, you know, just a slightly, basically like a warrior themed art piece. And again, I can just sell that ticket, like my golden ticket to Willy Wonka's factory, onto someone, and they can go and buy it. And obviously there'll be a value attributed to that ticket, because whatever people perceive the value of the next one, the airdrop, you know, obviously you could go off the basis of Galaxy Egg. You could be like, okay, how much is a Galaxy Egg worth at the moment? You know, half an Ethereum. Okay, well, how much would that? You know, you can kind of piece it together. Will there be a game or a film released? And that will have like warriors in it, and that will obviously give you the commercial rights to that, like I mentioned before. And there's, you know, it's crazy. I say complicated. It's not crazy complicated. It's just the more that you get into it, the more that you start to see more. Like you start to understand it and unravel the kind of everything that's going on. That's why I'm trying not to make it too intense. But at the moment, I'm this much in profit because you have gas fees, which is like the cost of doing every transaction, which are at the moment high. I mean, high as in terms of, they're kind of like Amazon fees, you know. And with Ethereum 2.0, that should drop drastically, and the full release would be in about 3 or 4 months. Well, that's the plan. But it doesn't really matter, because if you're still making money, then yes, you're not making as much, but just like Amazon, fine. So how much have I made over 1 month? Considering, you know, I've made 2.5 grand. And so even though I'm not doing this full time, I'm doing it a couple of hours a day, like when I'm in between doing tasks from Amazon business and YouTube and all that kind of thing, and, you know, elite sellers. This is basically what's happening. So I made this much money, which is not crazy. There's people that I know making 15 Ethereum from like one in a couple of days, because they're doing a lot of research. You know, imagine getting into VeeFriends in advance. You know Gary Vee. You see before anyone buys it that he's doing this. You're like, I understand the value of this. You know, like you could go and see, oh, people have paid 150 grand for a charity, you know, to a charity dinner with Gary Vee, because you can do your research and go, okay. And let's say it's a half an Ethereum, that's 2 grand. People say, well, people are paying 100,000 to a charity event, or 300,000 for this, so, you know, it might be worth at least 50. Well, it's currently selling for 2, and then you can do arbitrage that way. Of course, you can hold it and expect the price to potentially go up. If you click activity, you can see this is the price over time. So the way that I like to look at this, is just move my head, is I'll use this like a keeper chart. You know, it's been around since July. Obviously, it goes up to the high, down, and it kind of, the down goes relatively down to its lows, not actually as low as that. It's at 60, that's at 4, and then it kind of retests the prior high. Yes, it slightly goes above, but you get what I mean. It's just like using Keeper. Again, it goes down, but not as low, and it does then actually do slightly higher, down again. And, you know, before any of this, I would potentially be like, you know what, I'm happy to buy it like 10, or I'm happy to buy it, yeah, about 10. So when it goes down over here, oh look, 10.8, almost exactly the same, 10.9. Then I'm gonna buy, and it did, and then it went up to 22 in like a day or something, because people probably did arbitrage exactly the same as I would look at Keeper. I'd be like, well, that's its potential low, that's potential low, that's a potential high. So if I know that's the low, okay, you know, in theory with Amazon you would buy it knowing that could be break even, for example, but you're looking to at least sell it for that. So I buy 20 units, knowing that my break even will be the low for, you know, roughly the low what it's been for a while. Of course, it might, like an Amazon, sometimes it is lower, but I know that on average it's selling for, you know, maybe around here, maybe about 15 or 18 or something, yeah. And again, it came up here, and you made some extra sales, made more profit on those sales. It's that's how I'm using this. It's very easy. Well, easy. That's obviously subjective, but you get what I mean. And, you know, to date, even though I'm literally started from scratch, knowing pretty much nothing apart from I knew what an NFT was, and I knew what crypto was, I'm up that much. And the great thing is that you can actually go and see what I'm buying. If there's people that you know that are doing well, you can go and track and figure out what they're doing. You know, that's the great thing about this. It's so transparent. You know, like you can just go and, you know, you could go and copy people, but it's obviously time sensitive. If I'm buying at a specific price, you go in a day later and buy it, could be a different price, just like anything. So of course that is that's part of something you've got to be careful with. I'm gonna wrap the video up there, but again, it's not financial advice, not financial advisor, and I'm definitely not a guru at this. If someone actually said, "Oh, another guy from Amazon saying they're a guru at NFTs," I'm like, "Guru? I've been in it 1 month." I'm like, "You should have watched." I've been in Amazon 5 years, and I haven't once said I'm a guru or something. But anyway, but I'm just showing you what I've done. And I've made some losses here. Like I made some losses here and here. Yeah, I mean, it's nothing crazy, but I have made some losses. Just like with Amazon, I make some losses, but overall is what I'm looking for. So, gonna wrap the video up there. Any questions, let me know. I just think it's really interesting. A lot of people won't be interested in this, but I'm just really interested to get a view on who might be interested in videos like this in the future. Even if they're more simplified about one thing, because again, I'm probably overloaded you a lot with this. Just simple things like what is OpenSea. But let me know. Hopefully there's some interest, and if there is, maybe I'll be posting a little bit more in the group here and there, just like I have with my stocks and shares, just to give people another potential avenue for looking at in the future. And again, this is more of a long-term project for me, because there's no like gatekeeper like Amazon as such. Yes, there's OpenSea, but it's a lot more in your control. And again, it's not all of my money put into one thing, so I'm not too worried. And what I'm going to be doing is hopefully building up my ETH, taking my initial investment out in the short term, and then just ride the wave, and then pick up some of the sort of blue chip, meaning very stable and stagnant stuff that is more like a gold, That's the long-term plan. But I'm going to leave the video there, guys. Hopefully you liked it, and I'll see you on the next one.